Welcome back to Psychology of Humans. Dogen was not interested in theories about enlightenment. He was interested in something much simpler and much harder, being fully present. Dogen, a 13th century Japanese Zen master, believed that most human suffering comes from a single habit of mind, living somewhere other than the present moment. The mind constantly moves into the past, into the future, into imagination, into comparison, into judgment. But rarely does it remain exactly where life is happening. The problem of psychological time, Dogen observed that the mind lives inside psychological time. We replay the past, regret, guilt, resentment. We project into the future, fear, anticipation, anxiety. This creates tension because the mind tries to solve problems that do not exist in the present moment. Modern psychology confirms this. Mind wandering is strongly correlated with dissatisfaction, stress, and rumination. The mind searches for completion elsewhere. Dogen's solution was radical simplicity. Return to this moment. Practice is enlightenment. One of Dogen's most famous teachings is, practice is enlightenment. Many people assume enlightenment is a future event, a moment when suffering disappears. Dogen rejected that idea. The moment of practice itself, the moment of full presence, is already the expression of awakening. You do not practice to become enlightened later. You practice because awareness is already here. This removes the psychological trap of endless striving. Zazen, the practice of sitting. Dogen emphasized a practice called Zazen, or seated meditation. But meditation, for Dogen, was not a technique to achieve something. It was an expression of reality. Sit, breathe, observe. Do not chase thoughts. Do not resist thoughts. Let them arise and pass like clouds. Over time, the mind's compulsion to interfere softens. This stabilizes attention and reduces emotional reactivity. The illusion of separation between practice and life. Dogen believed meditation is not separate from everyday life. Cooking can be meditation. Walking can be meditation. Working can be meditation. The key is attention. When attention is fully present, the activity itself becomes complete. Modern psychology would call this flow or task absorption. But Dogen saw it not as performance optimization, but as the natural state of the mind when distraction fades. Dropping the self, Dogen wrote something striking. To study the self is to forget the self. At first this sounds paradoxical, but psychologically it makes sense. When the mind becomes fully absorbed in the present activity, the constant commentary about me fades. The ego narrative quiets, and with that quieting comes relief. Many forms of anxiety come from excessive self-referencing. Dogen's approach dissolves the self-centered narrative without attacking it directly. Impermanence as reality. Like many Eastern thinkers, Dogen emphasized impermanence. Everything changes: emotions, thoughts, situations, identity. The mind suffers when it demands permanence. But when impermanence is accepted, flexibility increases. Psychologically, this reduces resistance and emotional rigidity. Radical acceptance of the ordinary. Dogen rejected the idea that spiritual insight requires extraordinary experience. Drinking tea, walking, listening, breathing, when attention is total, nothing is lacking. The psychological craving for something more dissolves. Dogen and modern psychology. Many modern psychological approaches reflect Dogen's insight. Mindfulness-based stress reduction, acceptance and commitment therapy, attention training, flow research, metacognitive awareness. These methods reduce rumination by anchoring awareness in the present. Dogen articulated this centuries earlier. The discipline of simplicity presence is simple, but not easy. The mind is addicted to stimulation, novelty, and distraction. Training attention requires patience, but the reward is psychological stability. When awareness rests fully in the present moment, the mind stops fighting life. Final thought, Dogen teaches that enlightenment is not somewhere else. It is not later, it is not hidden, it is the moment when attention is completely here. When the mind stops chasing past and future, life becomes simple again. Not perfect, not dramatic, just fully present. And in that presence, peace appears. Thanks for watching Psychology of Humans.